Holy Quran, verse 361. Matter of fact, let me post that up real. Go ahead.
I would just say, I mean, just from the Nation of Gods and Earth's criticism is that they're saying that the Nation of Islam during the 60s, the 50s, and the 70s, they were acting like the 10%ers. And while you were in the Nation of Islam, you had to learn. You had to learn and go through certain things and be tested, which Elijah Muhammad said that he tested a lot of people. And he tested Louis Farrakhan the hardest and the worst. And that's what the Nation of Gods and Earth was saying, that they were acting like the 10%ers. So what the Father
Who was
Allah,
acting like the 10%? Well, I
the
can't really
nation,
take. Well, are you a 5%er?
I would consider myself in the,
Not what
and
you could consider yourself. Does the 5% nation recognize you as a member of their nation?
no, I just
Then
consider
yeah,
my
then you shouldn't. Then you shouldn't.
I
You
did,
shouldn't speak on them. Then
um I, in a way I feel like I should speak on them, can, because I feel like I'm a
you,
Muslim, but and
but
at
you
the
can't
same
tell.
time,
You can't speak for them. You can't. You can speak for what you want to be, but you can't speak for. You can't answer the questions that I'm gonna ask. You
uh,
understand?
I can't speak on the questions you're gonna ask, but I'm just telling you, uh, from what I heard from both sides, and the Father Allah, Clarence 13X, he brought lessons without you having to train, without you having to discipline. He was giving the lessons, the full lessons, to people who are going in and out of jail, smoking weed, storing cocaine in their nose. And that's kind of the, like, they just feel like the Nation of Gods and Earth just feel like the Nation of Islam was very religious, very cult like, very structured, and acting like the 10%. And as well, it's a lot of it's a lot of, before you say something, it's a lot of, in the way the organization is structured, I would say is structured like the Masons, because
How is the
Elijah
Mason
Muhammad,
structured? How is the Mason structured?
by saying that you saying that you got to get to a certain level to get to a certain degree.
Well, that's not Masons. That's any. That's any university. That's any school or university. Why would you just say the Masons?
Because Mustafa Muhammad and Elijah Muhammad, before they started the Nation of Islam, they were in these circles. They were in the Freemasons, and they were in the circles of Noble Drew Ali. Uh, you know,
But that's still a university. What that got to do with anything? That's just still a school of learning.
but my point is that the Nation of Gods and Earth is like, hey, if you're given the knowledge, you shouldn't. That's what their point is. You shouldn't just hide it off for certain people. You
So
should
if you're a
just give it
nation,
all.
okay, let me ask you this. So if you're a nation, do you just give away your military secrets to anybody in the public?
It's not military secrets.
What then? That proves that you're not a. What is the meaning of FOI?
It's a fruit of Islam.
It means what?
Fruit of Islam is the
What is the
core of
meaning
Islam.
of it? What is the meaning of it? In the lessons, you got your lessons, right? What does the lessons say that the meaning of FOI is?
Well, Cam, I'm a baby of knowledge,
Well,
and
you
I'm
ain't
not.
supposed to be talking to me then. So that's the point.
You said
That's
I'm
the
supposed to not be
problem. The
talking to you.
problem is you still talking instead of
Well, I
listening.
mean,
You're not a FOI and you're not a 5%er. I know more than you about both. So what are you talking about instead of listening about when it comes to me?
I was just talking about, the other week, Cam, you was talking real like reckless about Clarence 13X, and
I was reckless. What
you was,
say,
and then
say,
and then
say
and then
exactly
you
what I was
even
reckless about.
and then you even apologize for
No,
talking
I
about
apologize for my
Clarence
spirit.
13X.
No, listen. I want you to finish this because you just parroting now. I apologize for my spirit. What reckless did I say about Clarence 13X?
That he was a rebel.
That's reckless, or was that a fact?
He wasn't a rebel. Clarence 13X was always acknowledged.
No, stop
Elijah Muhammad.
talking.
He
Stop
never
talking.
spoke bad about Elijah Muhammad.
Stop talking. You don't know, you was never there. Every 5% that I ever talked to said that Brother Clarence 13X was a rebel. He rebelled. So why do you say that he didn't rebel and you ain't even know 5%? Why do you say that and you're not a 5%, but the real 5% say that he did rebel?
Well, Cam, I consider myself a 5%.
I don't care what you consider yourself. They don't consider you. And you said I was talking reckless. So who's talking reckless, me or you?
I mean, what I'm saying is, Cam, get straight to the point, which you like for me to always do, is Clarence 13X never spoke against Elijah Muhammad. He never.
Who said anything about speaking? Anybody talking about nothing? Speaking.
So how was he a rebel? He left
actions.
the mosque.
Do you know what actions mean? Do you know what actions are?
So just because you leave the mosque and do your own.
That's why you get muted. So if you don't know, that's why you're not a 5%er. That's why you're not a real 5%er. That's why you're not a FOI, because you don't know. Oh, I guess you left. But yeah, I got 50 minutes? I got a few minutes left to turn up. So you can get my blood boiling. Every time you come on here, your nose is running, you smoking on something, you drinking on something. But I try to make myself available for any and everybody, but that's clearly going to have to stop. It's content, but it's characters like that keep on rah-rahing talking about I'm violating Clarence 13X. Niggas who ain't even 5%ers. False flag, who knows what you are and where you came from, niggas that's taken up for somebody that I just clearly earlier posted God like this. Life Allah, 58-year vet, got knowledge of self in 1981. We had Daniel a whole hour talk today. You might want to go find his page and have a conversation with him. Talk to a real God, a real 5%er. All y'all little false flag, the trash gonna get took out. Trash is trash day every day now. Every day. So if you false flagging and false representing somebody else's organization or somebody else's army or military, because the FOI is a military. FOI is a name given to the military training of men and boys that belong to Islam in North America. Military. You don't give away no military information. We are military. So you gonna give away our information? No, that's treason. That's not just rebellion, that's treason. You shouldn't have joined up. You knew it was a military. So everybody can have their reasons for why they rebelled, but it's still rebellion. I'm not saying the motive was wicked or the motive was righteous. It's still rebellion. And if you ain't a member of neither organization or neither nation, what are you running your mouth like your nose is running for? Let your nose keep running instead of running your mouth. Jamila, they come on here pretending to be with Bro Cam, but yeah, right. It's entertainment, but I don't want to do it at the expense. See, that's what COINTELPROs do. Even if they know or they don't know that they're agents of Satan, You might be agents of the literal FBI, CIA, Department of Justice, Satan's, or you might be agents of your own internal Satan, your own internal weakness, your own internal vices and addictions that sends you over here with me to, to cause trouble, tell lies, causing the righteous to fight and try to delete one another. Because you don't belong to either group. You don't belong to either group. But I'm opening the floor because I do that. But then that's me. Like I said, I'm self-correcting and I'm correcting how I respond, or should I even respond, because I want y'all to hear this. I want y'all to see what's floating around here. I want y'all to see these are the people that is quick to hop on the live. The people that I ask for, the people that's really, the genuine articles, they don't really be on here like this. Madame.
Peace, 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 peace to my gods and goddesses and all righteous families of the earth. It's the mighty God. It's the man. MarcoJah is known as MD on another episode, and I'm just gonna get into it. It's this tape is called in response to West Coast Cam, and in quotations, the problem with the Nation of Islam and 5% Nation members, and my criticism as well. I'm going to give a criticism on West Coast Cam is that I'm talking about, when I talk about the 5% Nation, I want to talk about, I'm criticizing the Nation of Islam, criticizing the Nation of Gods and Earths, the Moorish Science Temple, my Hebrew Israelites, which I consider in the 5% Nation, which some people might not, but I do. And then as well, my Rastafarian brothers, Hebrew Israelites, Nation of Islam, Nation of Gods and Earths, and then as well the sect that that enlightened me, the Muslim God Cipher, which isn't really an organization, but it's more of a study group, more of a study group where we enlighten newcomers. So let me just get that clear now. I want to start off by saying that I look up the West Coast Cam. Not going to say I'm a fan of him. I look up to West Coast Cam. Understand he's been in the nation for over 30 years, is probably as long as I've been alive. I am proud of his achievements. I respect him as an elder, as an older god of the nation as well. But I felt like, really, because the video that I showed y'all before the tape started is an exchange that me and brother Cam had. And first, to start off peaceful, start off good, and then once we got into Clarence 13X, and once we got into why the Nation of Gods and Earth felt like the Nation of Islam were being acting like the 10 percenters, and then West Coast Cam immediately said, well, why would we give our military secrets? And I said, "Are they military secrets?" And he was like, "See, you're not even qualified to talk to me." And then he proceeded to say, "I'm not qualified, and I'm not a member of the Nation of Islam, or I'm not even a member of the Nation of Gods and Earths." He proceeded to say that, and I'm not qualified, and basically told me I need to stop talking and listen, which I did. I wasn't disrespectful or anything, but I felt like I didn't take it personal, and I've been on live a good couple times with what Cam, so I know how he rock and I know how he is, and I see that how he treated other guests, and but I just felt like the older God, not even felt like I know that the older God kind of did me a little dirty. I ain't take it personal. Still got love for Cam. I don't know if I will want to go back on the show. I might if I get compelled to. And he said some things like, I'm always coming on there drinking or smoking something and all this, and I need to let my nose run, and I need to let my nose run and stop talking and all this kind of stuff, and even called me a nigga and alluded that I was like a agent and all this crap. So I knew what I was getting myself into, so it ain't no harm. Shout out to West Coast Cam, but I do feel like I have a right to defend myself because I'm getting a reputation of being, every time I'm a guest on this show, I'm getting a reputation of being like this drunk and being this person that I don't know what I'm talking about, and I've cleared and told my background that maybe haven't gotten in depth with it, but I wasn't enlightened by the Nation of Islam, and I was enlightened by the Nation of Gods and Earths, the two main groups in the 5%. I was enlightened by the Muslim God Cipher, which is, like I said, it's not an organization, but it's a study group that mainly enlightens newcomers as well. We believe and say that we're Muslims and that we're gods. You got the other half of the Nation of Gods and Earths. A lot of them say they're not Muslims, they're gods. And then you have the Nation of Islam who say that they're gods and Muslims. So maybe the Muslim God Cipher agrees a little more when it comes to the Nation of Islam. Now, my enlightener is Brother Fahim Wahaj. If y'all want to look him up, he's online. He has the YouTube channel, the MGC network, which stands for the Muslim God Cipher. He has been a member of both the Nation of Islam and as well the Nation of Gods and Earths, but he aligned himself as well with all 5%ers, and as well he aligned himself with the Muslim God Cipher and joined in. So my enlightener has been probably studying and been a 5%er probably for the past 35 years. He's like about the same age as Cam, has as much experience and knowledge and wisdom and understanding as Cam. I've been studying my lessons for the past 7 years, so I'm not wet behind the ears. I consider myself a humble student and a baby of the knowledge, where I just didn't come into knowledge yesterday. And when you look at the live, you can see that I know what the hell I'm talking about, and I'm qualified of what I'm talking about, even though I might not be this quote unquote member of whatever organization. Now, um, I want to say too is that as a 5%er, your main duty is to teach the 85%. Your main duty is to wake up the masses, wake up the dumb, deaf, and blind. Uh, it isn't to you're now it isn't to like hide. Not to say the Nation of Islam does that, but I was just speaking on the side of the Nation of Gods and Earths, which I'm not saying I agree, but they feel like the Nation of Islam can act like 10%ers and withhold the lessons and agrees till you get to a certain point. They instill more of the discipline, but the Nation of Gods and Earths, they attract more people who maybe the mosque is just not for them. Maybe they don't have maybe time to be at the mosque 3-4 times a day, shave, wear a suit, be in the FOI, and all that. So the nation, I do believe that the nation of gods and earths is needed, especially brothers, you know, who love the nation of Islam, but it just might not just be for them. It's needed for the young gods, the young brothers, young sisters, young earths, young goddesses that are on the streets where they can take in the knowledge from somebody who's familiar, somebody who looks like them. So I do want to say that. Now he called the teachings, the lessons, military secrets, which I do believe in the Nation of Islam. There is a military called the Fruit of Islam. Um, but I would say the Nation of Islam is such a great and beautiful organization. Happy I want to say as well, Happy Savior's Day, Happy 94th anniversary, 94 years strong. Um, but we are here as 5%ers to wake up the masses, and even if you're not quote unquote in the 5% nation, if you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, you're a Jew, Hebrew Israelite, Rastafari, whatever you are, as long as you telling the truth, you waking up the masses, waking up the dumb, deaf, and blind, then I would consider you a 5%er. I consider Jesus. I consider Jesus Christ, Isa, Isa ben Miriam, a uh, a 5%er in his time. So I don't consider the lessons and the teachings military secrets. So when I was talking about the teachings and lessons, I'm talking about books, the 120, the basic things that you need for your student enrollment when it comes to these teachings. Now, how the organization is structured and how it conducts itself and what the what the organization does when it's under attack or against a threat, or how they move and do security. Okay, that might be different. That might be military secrets. But the Nation of Islam is such a beautiful organization. I consider it a fraternity. I consider it um, I consider it a faith, a fraternity, a place where you can go to worship the God, your Lord. It's a place of worship. It's a fraternity. It's a youth organization. It's a military. It's a black nationalist organization as well. So it's a lot of different things and attributes. The Nation of Islam is such a beautiful organization that is more than just one thing. So I want to get that clear. Now, um, I want to say to Cam is that you don't know me from Adam. As well, you don't know how many years I've been studying, who's my lightner, what circles and shoulders that I rubbed, how many brothers I built with, how much knowledge I enlightened uh, of the 7 years that I've been studying in the lessons and got knowledge yourself. You don't know that, but Cam, if you listen to this, you are the one that's famous. You are the one that's famous, and I know more about you than you know about me. You wanna talk about me going on your show drunk. You wanna talk about my nose running. First of all, on that one live, why my nose was running is because I'm poor right now. I'm going through a hard time. I live in a one room shack. I got approved for housing, but I'm waiting for my housing to clear. I'm in a one room shack. I don't have a car. So when I was talking to you, Cam, and having a serious discussion with you, and then you wanted to bring to all your attention my nose was running. It was really cold outside. But I'm not no person. I, I'm not a person who doesn't groom myself, who doesn't make myself presentable to the public. So let's get that out of the way. Number two, number two, me coming up to you or talking to you in your show drunk. I might have had a when you have your show, Cam, it's at night, and then on top of that, you're on the West Coast. So the moment you get on live, I'm 3 hours ahead of you here on the East Coast. So, like, I'm not a drunk. I might have a drink, but your show is not a religious show. You're not a preacher. You're not a religious leader. It's all different types of people that come on your show. That's not five percenters, or some of them are five percenters. So number one, me going on your show drunk. I could see if you was like a minister, or I could see that you have some type of stature in the Nation of Islam. You've been in it for about 30 something years, but you don't got no type of stature or no type of high rank. Well, let me retract. I don't know what your rank is. Maybe you can tell us. But I want to get that clear off too. Number two, you the one said that a couple years ago, 3, 4 years ago, you was drinking too and had to stop. And you was on Vlad TV talking about, I drank, but I drink in moderation. But I'm a grown ass man. It's not your business if I've been drinking or not. I could see if I was coming in, not talking in my right mind, talking out of my neck, being rude and disrespectful. But it's not your business if I'm drunk or not, or if that's it's not your business. And you're not a minister, and this your show is not religious. So um, let's get that out the way. And then too, like I said, I'm not the one that's famous. You the one that's famous. You the one that used to be a rapper. Now you the one claim that you're in the Nation of Islam, which I believe you. But when I went online today and look up some pictures of you, I never seen a picture of you in the Nation of Islam uniform and the Fruit of Islam or nothing. Every time I see you, you're in some black shades and a white T-shirt. So like you associating yourself. The pictures I see you're associating yourself with rappers. I was a couple weeks ago, or maybe a couple days ago, I was watching an old rap song called "Certified Gangsters" by Jim Jones, The Game, and Cameron. And I was surprised, like you in the video, just standing there nonchalant, not trying to show who you are, but they put your name up in the video, and you like in the video against the video around a whole bunch of gang members and bloods, but you want to claim that you Nation of Islam. Your whole career you've been around gangster rap. In a way, you speak on the street life. In a way, you could be considered a gangster rapper, which contradicts you saying you been in the Nation of Islam. And just because you've been in longer than me, just because you've been in longer than me, in the 5% in the Nation of Islam, does not mean I don't have the right to speak. Doesn't mean you don't just because somebody is older than you doesn't mean they have more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And I wasn't saying, hey, this is what the Nation of Islam did and all this, and taking up for Clarence 13X, Allah the Father, but I was just speaking on the perspective of the circles that I ran with, of why some people think that the Nation of Islam sometimes act like 5%ers. Act like 10%ers. Let me correct myself. So, I want to say too is that Kim, I don't think Kim, like, you don't got no room to really talk about nobody and call somebody a nigga. Like, you not even all that famous. You say that you a rapper, but you only put out 3 albums. You came out in like 93, 92, or 94 or something, and only had like 3 albums. Like, I don't know. We don't even know if you work or nothing. You can't even make numbers yourself. You have to get on the digital soapbox network, and they do your editing and your thumbnails. You had to leave your main channel and go to and get hired by the digital soapbox network. Like, you a famous rapper, used to rap with Ice Cube back in the day, and you can't even get 100,000 some subscribers, like on your original West Coast Cam YouTube page. So like you don't got no room to talk about nobody or call somebody a nigga. I just feel like it's just kind of disheartening that um that I'm a young brother, I'm a younger God, and you treating me like I'm wet behind the ears, like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about when you don't even know my background. I just think it was disheartening. I think, when young brothers come on, you should give them at least the respect, and let them get their point across. But you always cutting people off and saying people that are qualified or not. Well, you should be humble and kind to the younger generation. You never know who I might be in the future. You never know, we might see each other again. You don't know. But I take this shit serious. I give my life to this. I'll die for this and I'll live for this. Like, don't insult my credibility when it comes to this 5% nation. This is something I take serious as a heart attack. So miss me what you saying, and I'm saying this to you with all due respect. Now, before I go, because this video is already too long, before I go, I want to say I just think the main problem when it comes to Nation of Islam members and people of the 5% nation, we spend too much time quarreling. We spend too much time saying who's right and who's wrong. We spend too much time on disagreements. Yeah, we don't always see eye to eye. We might not agree with everything, even though the lessons are the same. We still disagree. But us as Muslims, we should unite and accept each other as brothers in faith. You see this happen in Orthodox Islam. You see this happen especially a lot in Christianity with different sects arguing and quarreling. I believe that Nation of Islam and the 5% nations, we have good organizations, we have good intentions, but we spend too much time arguing and quarreling with each other and trying to prove points and uh, and like just because I don't know what a 120 says about the fruit of Islam right off the back of my head doesn't know I don't mean what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, I'm not this master quoter. So we need to spend more time building, more time. Let's build banks. Let's build more temples, more study groups, more mosques, more Allah schools and meccas. Let's build hospitals. Let's build food pantries where we can give food out to the poor. Let's buy farmland. Let's make the Nation of Islam and the Nation of Gods and Earth organizations, and as well people in the Muslim God Cipher, let us be more accessible to people. Um, and I agree. One thing I would say before I go, I agree with West Coast Cam that I should get aligned with an organization. I told him on the podcast that he's hired by. That's not even his YouTube channel. He's what, like his boss is Doggy Diamonds. But I told him that last week I'm going to the Muhammad Mosque number 34 in Durham, North Carolina. So I missed it. But I plan to go next week. And I do need a place where I can fellowship with other brothers and sisters that represent the nation. So I'm gonna go and challenge myself. But sometimes people don't all the time know where to go. Sometimes people don't. It's not like the Nation of Islam and the 5% is visible as what they used to be. They're not in the streets talking no more like they used to be. I'll only maybe speak for me being in the South, in the Upper South, in North Carolina. But usually, like when you're a newcomer, when you get enlightened, when you maybe starting out with an enlightener, uh, sometimes it's hard to find other gods to build with. Go to a mosque. Sometimes it's hard to find. It's not like back in the day where you can find somebody on in the Nation of Islam passing out newspapers and selling bean pies on the corner. The Nation of Islam is still large, it's still a respected organization, but it's not what it used to be. So I want to get that out and stop chastising newcomers and people or people like me who have been in the nation of the 5% nation. I've been practicing and studying for the past 7 years. Um, I'm fairly new. I'm not wet behind the ears how you talk about me, Cam, but I just never had the chance to go to a study group or mosque. Now I do because I'm settled. I'm in a city that I've been in for a couple of years, so I'm gonna go. That's gonna be my challenge to myself, and that's maybe the only thing I agree with you. I should get in some type of organization, have more fellowship, but like I said, not all the time. It's always ready, available, depending on what location you're at. And sometimes us younger brothers who just start off with one enlightener, we don't know where to go, or we might just be content of just speaking and talking to our enlightener and studying on our own. But um, I'm gonna end this video, this tape, y'all. I feel like I got my point across. I want to say peace to all my gods and goddesses and all righteous families of the earth. And y'all have a good one. I love y'all. It's no disrespect to Cam or anything. I hold that brother in high regard. I just felt like I had to come on here and defend myself. He probably doesn't even know I'm a content creator. Well, I did told him I was a content creator. He knows. But yeah, yeah, you know, uh, Cam, he gonna get this fade today, man. So, y'all have a good one. Peace.